Hello and welcome to Worldwide People's Championship. We're on Heaven's Reef. This is week 3. This is one of the first games in U1700. There were no games in U2000. That's going to be our optional division, I guess. But I'm hoping to get every week 4 players. Of course, Shoot had some great games. Was the challenger from week 1. He actually played Swackle. In week 1, had that great close game on Canis River, where he got that victory at the very end with the Jester. He was Cybern then, but he's Cyber now taking on Seraphim. And on this map, Seraphim is going to be quite dominant. You can see it's 3 land masses, a lot of water. A nighttime map here where drops and floating units are huge. Floating Arty is absolutely indispensable on this map, but we'll see what Cybern can do. There's also a little bit of reclaim here that can get you interesting build orders. The mass spots are really far apart, so that's a bit annoying. So you got a micro around your ACU. A lot of walking around early on, but I think you can get away with a single mass extractor with the ACU. Should go with 4, which is he's going to be really low in power. Wasted quite a bit of time on that. While you see Swackle basically went with 1 mass extractor. He's got an engineer reclaiming, so there's really no mass problems early on. You can go. It is a bit of a risk if you just rush the mass and go no mass extractors, like for first bomber or something. Because if you lose that engineer, you completely stall and you've probably lost the game. But if you give enough protection for this engineer and your first engineer goes after mass, you're going to be in good shape. So far we do see a Tham making its way across the middle with a Selene. It will face 2 hunters, and 2 hunters should be able to take on, well actually no, they'll die against the Tham, but they'll take out the Selene. So the radar's gone, and here Micro, with proper Micro shoot, could get the victory, but they just stand and shoot at each other. Tham gets 2 kills and is going to keep rolling. There's an exposed engineer. We are seeing Swackle choosing to take the ACU to one of the land masses. There is also quite a bit of reclaim on these, and of course 8 mass extractors. In the starting position there's also 8 mass extractors, so this could be a nice 2v2 map, 8 mass extractors each, and this is at least 1500 reclaim right there. And here comes the first bomber of the game from Swackle. If it's going to spot those engineers, perfect target. We do see an air factory from Shoot, but he doesn't have too much. He has no airplanes yet. Maybe he has power problems. I'm not really sure why he isn't. Oh, there's a great bomb. Well, he isn't producing interceptors. He is not going to produce interceptors. I think he has enough power to do that. And Mantis versus Tham. Manti win the land battle, but this bomber is going to create all kinds of problems. That's a total of 4 kills now for Swackle's bomber. And there is total air domination. He really doesn't want to lose his bomber. He's got to get his interceptors on the case, but unable to do it. Heroic interceptor from Shoot is going to save quite a few units, because 2 more bombs on this, he would have lost a bunch of power generators. In terms of expansion, you can definitely say Swackle is in a huge lead, sending his ACU to the side. Of course, that could expose him to ACU up the middle from Shoot, which I believe is exactly what he's probably going to do. I mean, he's kind of in position to do that. If he scouts, he'll realize the ACU isn't there and will push. Nobody here on the bottom landmass. There is going to be a single engineer from Swackle is going to get a factory on there first. Also, interceptors are going to go ahead and scout. And this total air domination from Swackle means, first off, Swackle knows where the engineers are going if they're walking on water. Plus, there's no option for a drop. So Shoot is really kind of resigned to this position. Looks like he is making a land push. He's got a total of 4 land factories making Manti. Actually, no Medusas together, so he definitely want to bring some Arty. Because yes, there is point defenses now for Swackle. Swackle total air reconnaissance, so he knows exactly what's coming his way. And a single point defense in this case is going to pretty much stop this whole force unless Shoot brings some artillery, which he is not. Oh, this is a mistake in Micro. Swackle's going to walk all the way around. That's a bit unfortunate for Swackle. It's a big break for Shoot, because Swackle would have finished that factory. You'd have a whole bunch of engineers running around reclaiming. And here's a base for Swackle. Swackle is now going to move back to the main base after establishing that. An engineer for Shoot actually going up top. So Shoot having major problems expanding. There's going to be a bit of an engie fight here. but Swackle should be able to establish a factory, and that a single engineer won't do much. Shoot now facing 2-point defensive, no artillery, and there is a really rapid fire Sarah from Artie, which gives him a pretty big advantage in this Artie versus Artie battles. So he'll take quite a bit of micro from Shoot to do anything, and of course Swackle's ACU is on his way back by the time Shoot breaks through this defense. If he does, he should be back to defend his base, and some engineers pay the price. So Shoot can go ahead and kill some units here. He does the micro, dodges all the artillery. At his main base, he's got plenty of power. He's not really upgrading. He's paused his land spam, so I'm not sure where he's using his. Oh, this is good. And now it's going to be a very important draw from Shoot. If he can get a hold on the bottom base, he can even out map control, and he's going to have a chance. If he doesn't do that, if he doesn't take care of this land factory, he's going to be way behind in economy. And I mean, he's already in a huge hole. But you're really going to have to dig yourself out of that. Tech 2 Navy coming up for Swackle. Swackle really going for a game ender. Tech 2 Navy. Tech 2 Navy on this map against Tech 1 Navy will end the game for you, especially a Seraphim cruiser will hit anything on this map. And here it is. The two players are going to see that they're both contesting this position. We got a Mantis and a Tham out, multiple Manta, and a lot more build capacity for Shoot, and that's going to make all the difference. It's going to turn into more tanks for Shoot. Meanwhile, Shoot has retreated. I think in this position, if you were to get the gun or Tech 2 with the assistance of all these Manta, it's about 10 Manta, so you can build twice as quickly. Then he could just run everything over here, but just standing there in that position really doesn't do anything, because Swackle is definitely not going up the middle. See two land factories spamming artillery and flak. So that's a very secure position for Swackle, and also some Tech 1 Navy in the water. Meanwhile, it looks like Shoot will be able to overwhelm this factory from Swackle and establish control. But he's got a long way back. He does have a naval factory producing absolutely no navy. But that's really his next big problem, because Tech 2 naval factory is finished for Swackle. And a successful drop. Is it going to happen? Just in time. Oh, and excellent. Tech 2 bomber. Did not notice Tech 2 air from Shoot. Tech 2 air is going to make this interesting, because with these bombers you can start wiping out bases very quickly. That's a question of air control, of course, for Swackle. Swackle does have some interceptors. Expect him to switch to a big air spam. He's got 2 engineers on the factory. But here comes some Tech 1 Navy. Should be taken out easily by the Tech 2 bombers. And yeah, it looks like that's the end of Swackle on the bottom landmass. I would expect all these mass extractors to be capped. And a push, and Swackle now getting an upgrade. And perhaps this is what... Oh, yes, Shoot is getting an upgrade. Should have done this a little earlier. Now Swackle coming in. He's got the gun. Shoot has to retreat immediately. He's got to cancel and retreat. So Shoot is basically dead here unless he does something crazy, and he is going to come in with Tech 2 bombers, try to surprise Swackle. Swackle will retreat. He will have to respect this. He's got interceptors of his own. So Swackle, just a gun upgrade. 11,000 health, now going down to 7,000, and that will allow Shoot to escape with 1,500 health. Tech 2 bombers are still attacking Swackle. Swackle's going to dance his way, try to dodge these shots. Cybern are a little more difficult to dodge than, say, UEF. But looks like all those... No, more Tech 2 bombers going in. Actually, Swackle going down to 3,000. There's plenty of flak, but it's all Tech 1. And there is plenty of interceptors. Looks like Swackle will be able to survive going down to 2,600 health, but nice save for Shoot. There's also now a lot of reclaim in the middle. We're also seeing Tech 1 Navy pressure against Shoot's lone Tech 1 naval factory plus floating arty. And this is really a huge difference between the factions. This floating arty is just walked on water. Is going to start picking off engineers and power generators. Shoot pushing back. Of course, Shoot, while he was busy fighting, hasn't taken the chance to cap all the mass on his freshly acquired land. And this floating arty is really going to make a bad situation much worse for Shoot. I think it was a bit of a mistake. If you would have got that upgrade earlier, it would have been a much more even fight. And if you had the gun, you could have really got Swackle in trouble. Especially with those Tech 2 guns, it would have, I think, been a mistake by Swackle. It would have been at least a draw. But now that Swackle has survived and he's got a cruiser in the area, air is no longer an option. And this cruiser is going to be the game ender. I think at this point, Shoot I believe he said he should not play while he's drunk. And looks like it should be a victory for Swackle. So revenge for Swackle in week 3 for that loss that he had in week 1. I really hope these players, I believe Swackle or shoot somebody, one of these, no, the Tempest actually signed up again for week 4. Hoping these two players also sign up. And of course also people should check out the website that Napalm has set up in case the forums are not as clear. I think the website a lot more organized. The forums get I think a whole bunch of different people messaging, but definitely use the forum to sign up and upload your replays. But go to the website for all the information about how this is played, or go to the first page on the forum. But this is going to be a now massive floating arty force that's going to be coming in. I don't see TMD, and the Tech 2 factory is under assault from the cruiser. It's already got 6 kills. Tech 2 bombers against the cruiser, they won't get more than 1 pass. But they do take down about 1,000 health from that cruiser. And now floating arty is going to make its way. And this is really all that Shoot has. Shoot is actually just waiting to die here in the middle. Swackle was just to move ahead. He would finish the game. And that destroyer coming in as well. And Manta are going to try to stop all this floating arty. Tech 2 factory, he's lost. And I do think Shoot has basically given up about 3-4 minutes ago. Haven't seen any new units from him, and no more planning. Shoot now retreats. I'll actually speed this up a little bit. But this Tech 2 Navy is bringing peace and death for Shoot. Yeah, this floating arty. I think on this map, maybe this is one of the reasons it's not in the ladder. It just makes Seraphim so dominant over either EEF or Cybern. Although I think EEF with Quick Tech 2, with the not Blazes but Riptides, should have pretty good luck. And of course Cybern with quick gestures. If Cybern takes air control with the gestures, they can easily counter, as well as frigates. So I think it's still doable. So 20-minute game, Swackle over Shoot. Hello and welcome to the second game, the Worldwide People's Championship, U1700, week 3. And this one we got SSSS. So SSSS, player from Romania. Every Romanian I've ever talked to was crazy. Pretty awesome people though. And looks like he's going first land. Seraphim, of course Seraphim on this map, as we've just seen, is quite dominant. He's going to be taking on the Tempest, a player from Ukraine. And of course Ukraine and Romanians love each other so much they even named a country after their border. So let's see how that turns out. But nice to see the Tempest has played a couple of games so far in this tourney. I think this is SSS first. It's gonna be a tricky name to call him the crazy Romanian. The purple Seraphim. And now we got a couple McMarines from the Tempest and a scout. Looks like second air from the Tempest. Not clear what it is from. I told you Romanians are crazy. He just left his factory all by himself, but he is expanding very quickly. We'll see what happens to this ACU. This is a very aggressive ACU. But of course that putting ACU in this position makes this front part very secure. All these mech marines are not likely to make it into this position where you can deny a couple of mass extractors. And yeah, SS is going to play where he's going to almost cover this whole choke point, where really this engineer is the only exposed position to attack for Tempest. The Tempest does have a scout. It looks like this tank did spot these mech marines. More tanks to the middle from the Tempest. He is now working on his air factory. His AC is still way back at home. Single engineer, actually 2 different engineers are going to work on 2 different rows of power. It's not really the most efficient way to do it, but that's alright. SSS is just going to hang out. Now we got an air factory produced by SSS. but a little quicker from the Tempest, and the Tempest goes Interceptor then straight to transport. We'll see how that works out. It's just engineers now, so absolutely no air for SSSS, so this transfer from Tempest should be quite effective at grabbing either a top or bottom landmass. What we do see is this engineer is going to get a mass extractor and a factory, and if SS can get that, he'll be in good shape. But now we're seeing this floating arty. This is really good. This is exactly what you should do as Seraphim. Floating arty in this position will deny any walking engineers. But you can see that the Tempest didn't even try it. Didn't do an analogous engineer as SSSS. And now first kills. Just took out that Snoop and a retreat for Tempest. No reason to attack any further, but the ACU for the Tempest is now making to the middle. And it looks like this drop will be successful, although this drop will have to worry about this floating arty. These engineers, I'm assuming 2 engineers, are going to be vulnerable, but looks like some of these planes should spot that arty, and a scout now coming in. This scout should spot the NGs that are dropped off. They have a very important engineer on the other side for the Tempest. If you can grab this factory up on top, might get a fight in the top, but so many scouts all over the place. And now it looks like this floating arty, no, it retreated. It doesn't look like it's been spotted. These engineers that were spotted, and now they just split up. They're gonna continue building. So it looks like Tempest anticipating a bomber, but there are no bombers. But good piece of scouting from SSSS. Transport's back, still full health, and I think Tempest should use that to good use. This is a good place to drop, but once again, a nice floating arty. Playing some defense, but drops into the other position. Like for example on that mass would definitely be worth it. Tempest no upgrades in the middle. Might think about pushing forward. It says does have a Tech 1 point defense to retreat to. Don't see any artillery yet for Tempest, but he does have an engineer. He might be thinking about an upgrade. Tech 2 point defense creep from EF and ACU. It's a pretty good strategy on this map as long as you don't completely neglect the sides, and it looks like Tempest at least has a pretty good foothold here on the right side. A successful drop from SSSS, and actually it might be a successful factory here. So we can see the crazy Romanian is way ahead up on top, but the Tempest does have an advantage on the bottom, getting the second land factory, and also looks like a Navy is going to be planned here on the bottom. That's usually a good strat. Don't keep the Navy at your main base, keep it somewhere on the side. Of course, you don't want to put her in a position where you can get killed, and with floating arty, it's not a very long path for floating arty to come here and kill that naval factory. And looks like the Tempest has been found out. Yep, as a futile effort, this factory is going to die. Meanwhile, the Tempest still no upgrades. I'm waiting for him to do something in the middle. Perhaps his eco is just not letting him do it. Looks like his eco is perfect. You can totally upgrade. He's got 9,000 in the bank. I think he should. The SSSS doesn't have any upgrades. He's just getting some Tech 1 flak. But total domination up on top. Now it's going to be up to the Tempest to take care of this problem. This is going to be very difficult there because there's now 3 land factories. So the Tempest let this problem really, I think, get out of hand. That's going to take a lot of effort for him. And needs to start spamming units as fast as possible. He's going to now meet a superior force he'll lose. So this is going to be a very much a contested position, and he's going to start his spam. He should definitely get another factory and some point defense. Otherwise, he's in danger of completely losing map control. Tempest now with the gun while we were talking, and I think with that gun he needs to go in because, yeah, SSS now is getting Tech 2. So there's a small window of opportunity that Tempest has to inflict some damage, but if he waits too long, he'll be in trouble. We're also seeing some Tech 2, multiple actually, 2 Tech 2 mass extractors, the third one on the way. I don't see any yet for the Tempest, so SSS is beginning to pull away with Eco, and he definitely has a map control advantage. And now the Tempest, I think that was the lack of scouting. Great move from SSS, he just sort of snuck in with a late transport. Started building a base, and he's going to deny quite a few mass extractors, and I think unless Tempest does something crazy here, he is going to lose this whole position, and that's going to make this game nearly impossible for him to win. And now it looks like he's going to go Tech 2. So multiple engineers, so Tech 2 plus gun versus actually Tech 2 plus gun, so not too much of an advantage, and given the eco advantage that SSS has, this creep or whatever, this attack might not be that potent. So complete loss for Tempest on the right side. Also floating Artie, this is the nuisance, denying a couple of mask extractors. So Tempest living on 7 mask extractors. He actually does have a tech 2 versus 16. A couple of them tech 3 plus another 1, 2. So a total of 18, coming up 19 mask extractors for SSS. Huge mass advantage. And Tempest, after getting those upgrades, is still just sitting in the middle. It's a bit unfortunate. And yeah, SS is going to build up an undestructible base here. Tech 2 point defense and shields. Now the defense finally is going to go in. This is where the timing is so important. You have to realize when to attack. A submarine force from the Tempest, just the first submarine, actually no, second submarine for the Tempest. The SSS with the submarine force will deny any naval production. It looks like this other factory is also in very much danger of losing. Of course, all this floating Artie can now just walk across the ocean and go directly add to the Tempest main base. Tempest now is going to realize he attacked way too late. He's going to run into a shield. And just not enough firepower. Point defenses for SSS are going to get massive amounts of kill. Multiple tech 2, 6 kills for one, 5 for the other. Tech 1 point defense with 8 kills. The shield is flickering on and off, but the Tempest really has got to target these point defenses. That's his only chance. And of course the shield is one of the main targets. Nice overcharge for the Tempest. Actually, SSS is retreating, but he is full health. Tech 2 with gun. And now this tech 2 point defense should be the main target for the Tempest, to reclaim it or capture it or something. Actually, capturing in this case would be a good idea, but he's just going to retreat, reclaim it. So he's definitely overran this position, but he does not have enough health in his ACU to challenge an equivalent Seraphim ACU, especially next to all this production. He's going to retreat that tech 1 point defense. 24 kills. SSS was 7. So a little more veterancy, but not Tempest. A bit outgunned. SSS is going to rebuild the tech 1 point defense. And in this position, Tempest can just retreat. I guess if he retreats now, this is going to be tech 2 point defense. He only won small position. Some good overcharges. And you can see this naval production is very serious. Now we're seeing destroyers. And there's really no defense for the Tempest base against that. So as long as SS survived this onslaught, he's now basically in a winning position here, minute 15. Very surprised that all this floating Artie doesn't just walk across yet. So SS also kind of biding his time. Tempest retreats, 31 kills. He left quite a bit of wreck. I think he should have stayed and grabbed a bit of that wreckage. Just leaving it to SS is a bit of a letdown, I think. The most secure base there. I don't think a single unit has died here. Maybe in the very beginning. So peaceful, just producing mass for SSS. Yeah, I think I got the number of S's right there. Single submarine is going to get overwhelmed. Naval production for Tempest is non-existent. Now he's just sitting in the middle waiting to die. So very similar to Shoot. He waited to die for a little while in the middle while playing against Swackle. And at this point it is going to be SSSS, unless something crazy happens, of course, in this game, against Swackle, playing for week 3 challenger. And of course the Tempest now realizing he is basically beaten. And of course that's going to be on Rock Canyon version 3. And whoever is the challenger from week 4, still got to get a couple players to sign up for that, will play the winner of SSSS and Swackle for the new championship here in week 4 for U17. Of course, IridiumBLOWS is now the U2000 champion. And we got to get some avatars at some point. Pilot will get new avatars in. He's working on some system. I'm not really sure what the time is going to be when it will happen. But then hopefully Coacher can make us a couple nice avatars, maybe just the number U1700 and U2000. Or if people have good ideas for avatars, it is a bit limited in terms of, this is some Tech 2 gunship. So a nice idea, but against Tech 2 flag that will not work. And you can see the base for Tempest completely ran over. If people have good ideas for avatars, it is 40 by 20 pixels, so very limited in pixels. Definitely let me know. So off to SSSS versus Swackle. Hello and welcome to Dry Canyon. This is going to be the game that decides the challenger for week 3 between SSSS and Swackle. So Romania versus United States in this one. Swackle choosing UEF, and SSSS once again going with Seraphim. That Seraphim worked very well for him against the Tempest. Of course, this is a great map, very spread out, multiple choke points. If people just watch Aniril attack Pebble on this map, I think it was pretty fun. Kind of a surprising result maybe, but if you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. Second air for Swackle. And still not clear for SSS. SSS in his game against the Tempest just started running with his ACU. Put in a place where it played good defense and used engineers to build up his units, so it's probably a good choice on that map with a single choke point, but on this map it might be better to spend a little more time building. You can see that it's going to be a total of 7 P-gens, then an air factory. That's pretty good from Swackle. 6 is kind of pushing it. And very sneaky, hold on, now slow this down. Sneaky mech marine along the side from Swackle. There's definitely no radar on it, but he definitely avoided any detection. It's likely that he will take out this engineer, so this is going to be potentially good rating from Swackle. Meanwhile, we do see a tank and 2 Selene, so looks like this Selene did not detect that mech marine, so it's nice and sneaky. 2 Selene is now going to be covering this choke point, so no more surprises from Swackle. And the tank from SS is now moving down. We do see the engineer from Swackle here with some protection, a tank and a scout. And a couple engineers just run around in the field without too much protection, but a single tank scout unit that is going to miss this tank. So it looks like it's going to be a loss. And this mech marine looks like it ran past this engineer without killing it. That could be a mistake, and we see multiple tanks on the case. It looks like this mask extractor will die, but it's really up to Swackle to maximize what he can do here. And I think he really should have retreated and killed off this engineer. That is going to cost Swackle not denying quite a bit of mass that SSS is not going to have. Massive land spam from SSS, still no air. Let's see how this air. Okay, so this air victory is finished, and there is a single bomber flying around. Doesn't look like. Actually, no, there's a scout and a bomber. Flak coming out for SSS. Bomber's not going to start getting hit. Multiple flak, and no, this is not how you want to fly. You want to fly away from the flak and kill engineers that are expanding and doing stuff like that, but no. So Swackle is going to lose that bomber. A bit of disappointment there. Swackle gets Hydro in the middle. He is working a big land spam, a single engineer on power, 2 engineers on land, so pretty minimal with power, especially making air. I'm wondering, actually Swackle doing pretty good. I think this is good air balance. He did pause making air for a little while. And total of 3 land factories. Actually, now 4. Total of 4 land factories. 5th coming up for SSS. And it looks like 1 ACU going through the middle, Swackle. While the ACU for SSS being very aggressive on the left side. See how far it decides to go. It's going to completely deny all those mask extractors. And this is also very much exposed for Swackle. You see some tanks in this area, he's going to start losing mask extractors. Also looks like there was some death here that I missed. SSS with some nice rating. That must have been that first tank that just snuck by. The bomber, one kill for Swackle. The radar would be a great target, and that's exactly what he takes out. It's a good work. And now bomber with some tanks playing defense, and SSS is definitely the more aggressive player, going all around the sides and try to pull Swackle apart. Still no mask extractors lost, so this could be successful defense here from SSS, or for Swackle against SSS, but these tanks, yeah. More tanks coming in, plus, oh, this is all tanks. So overall, it looks like successful defense on both sides from Swackle. And no lost mask extractor, though. There's one right there. And now Swackle is, with 5 kills, going to get a bit of veterancy. SS will pull back. But it does look like that aggression from SS has got on both sides. He is missing a couple mass ejectors in the middle, but he's got engineers that are going to grab the left side. And a whole bunch of Tech-1 bombers from Swackle. That's one thing that he's had, but he's been using them for most part for defense, which could be a bit disappointing. Now Swackle, successfully covering the left side, is now got a better reclaim, could probably make a push. And it appears he's moving all of his line units to the left side while the ACU is going to go to the right. SSS with a full health ACU. And I think that's the gun. Yeah, I believe he does have the gun upgrade. Which is going to make things very interesting. So completely land span finally in Air Factory making scouts for our assessment at 8. Some bombers coming in. This would be a nice place to bomb for Swackle, but so far the bomber micro has been pretty disappointing from Swackle. And the 2 ACUs are going to meet here on the left side. It seems to be a superior numbers force from SSS moving in, but Swackle does have a force waiting, and it looks like SS is just going to separate his forces, and yeah, Swackle is also going to separate his forces to effectively play defense, but looks like SS is going to take out a Hydro and a Radar. Just check if SS actually does have the gun. Maybe I was lying. Yeah, I was lying. He doesn't have the gun. So both the stock ACUs. Looks like numbers here for Swackle. He should be able to win this battle. Although plenty of tanks coming in for SSS. Not very organized from Swackle. He just sort of threw his units up. He also has major problems on the left side. Successful victory for SSS. And Swackle perhaps thinking he might get the wins. SSS in full retreat, but he has so much units coming in support. Swackle's not going to change what he's shooting at. He needs to start retreating. SSS will realize Swackle's switch to retreat. He will try to chase him down. And actually Swackle, oh, he's got nothing coming in his way. Now these units that were playing defense are going to try to make it way across the map. Swackle 20 kills, a little bit of veterancy, but just way too many numbers. Some engineers trying to help, and it looks like it's going to be a 10-minute game. Swackle, perhaps a bit of a mistake, a little too aggressive. Not as organized as he could have been, and lose the game against SSS. When they got to say SSS was more aggressive the whole time. Swackle was defending, and a small mistake cost him the game here, minute 10. So SS is our challenger from week 3. He will play the challenger from week 4 in best of 3. We'll post which maps it's going to be played on sometime on Saturday. We'll post the map sometime Friday, but it will play it on Saturday. So, and looking for people to sign up.